Welcome to Dice Heist, where we roll the dice and see what we can get away with. My name is Raistlin, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different type of episode, as this one's kind of a bonus one. We are calling it Lore of the Land, Part 1, and every time we finish an arc from here on out, I'm going to be releasing a new Lore of the Land, which will give you a nice insight into some more backstory in the world, into the characters, and sometimes it'll just be some bookkeeping between arcs. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I think we're going to start by talking about the fact that between episode 10 and 11, there is a 2-month time skip, where the three guys had some time to kind of readjust to the new world that they live in of Igelphia. And some of the most important things that they noticed, I'm going to note here today. First off is how magic is very different in the city of Igelphia. And to understand that, we need to understand how magic was perceived and used in Vago. In Vago, magic was commonly used by those that found their power from studying, those granted their abilities by the gods, or those that manipulated its flow with music and art. Occasionally, there would be word of those that drew upon the natural world for their abilities, but those born with magical talent were extremely rare. In Igelphia, this rare form of magic is innate to a much larger portion of the Dragonborn in the city. Few bother studying the secrets of magic when it comes naturally to so many. And with the gods all but welcome in Igelphia, those wielding their magic are few and far between. With the industrial expansion of the city came the decline and near eradication of most of the natural world, leaving nearly none to wield magic of this form either. However, the magitech of the city is created and wielded by many gnomes who use technology to create effects that previously were thought to be only possible through magic. Others have adapted this gnomish style of magic with increasingly great effect, and this new form of spellcasting has become almost a norm in the city, just like the sorceress abilities of the Dragonborn. The second important thing that the adventurers came to learn was that the city is ruled by the businesses of the city. And this rule is dictated by a high council of 13 members. 8 are representatives elected from the business owners of each of the 8 districts of Igelphia. They fight to protect the interests of their districts as a whole. The other 5 are the CEOs of the 5 largest companies in Igelphia. The first of these being Alchemco, the company that has pushed the boundaries of what is possible with potions by finding a way to create a new form that is condensed down to the size of a pea and are called capsules. The second, Airtech, leads the city in new airships, zeppelins, and other flying machines technology, finding new ways to increase speed, cargo capacity, and fuel efficiency every day. The third, Mobile Incorporated, has created the world's first motorized carts, known as quad motors, and a 2-wheeled version that is ridden similar to a horse, called a bimotor. They also have created the city's railways that run along raised tracks above the city. The fourth, Defense Industries, has taken it upon themselves to take all the technology from other companies in the city and find a way to market it as a weapon and sell it to foreign nations, while also bolstering the Igelphian military as well. The final and fifth of these companies is Automation Enterprises, the leading company in manufacturing technology, creating the machines that the other 4 big guys use to manufacture their products. In addition, they have also led the council in a campaign to free all sentient automatons in the city. And this is no surprise, since the CEO is an automaton themselves. Our adventurers find themselves trying to fit into this new society. And the first most important thing they do is attempt to find employment. After discovering that the group was not up to snuff with the now deceased Sir Frederick Wellesley and company, Adam, Dirk, and Bertram found the closest thing they could and became employed with the Eastern Gate Police Department, or EGPD, as full-time investigators. Most of their jobs involved investigating petty theft and once a robbery that led to a vehicle chase towards central Igelphia. However, the downtown PD ended up with a credit after stopping the perp in their jurisdiction. After finding this job, the next thing, naturally, was finding a place to live. The group found themselves a small 3-bedroom apartment on the 6th floor in the 3rd building of South Tinker Street Apartments, along with a used quad motor that has a tendency to not start at the worst of times. In addition, they each received a special vest from the police department that has armored plating inside and can comfortably be worn underneath clothing. This is a form of light armor that gives them an AC of 13 plus Dex, one better than studded leather. They each used their small remaining funds to purchase a few handy items. Adam got his hands on a magical rapier and a grappling hook. Bertram purchased a magical rapier as well and goggles of night vision, while Dirk decided on mechanical shoes that gave him the ability to walk on walls and a composite shortbow, which has the same abilities as a normal longbow with the ease of draw of a shortbow. Their other gear, as investigators, allows them to more easily collect and partially test evidence in the field. As a member of the police department, they also have an allowance of capsules for their team. These, in effect, are potions that can be taken as a free action. Since the group got off the Silver Sail, it has been 2 months, and in that time, they've each begun to become more acclimated to the trades of the city. During this time, each of them has picked up a few new skills. Adam gained skill in alchemist tools and knowledge on Alchemco. Bertram learned the basic understanding of the automaton language, called Auto, and proficiency with firearms. Dirk focused on learning the streets, gaining a better handling on street navigation, and took some time to learn more about the vehicles that are now used for ground transportation. As a last note for bookkeeping here, I'd like to talk about a change that I decided to make to the rules of the game. This is something that I'd really like to do to give our players a better chance to interact with my world and to influence the story in much more meaningful ways than previously allowed. As this is an investigation-based story, I decided to add something to replace DM inspiration, which before was the ability for me to give each player 1 point of inspiration at a time. They could then use this 1 point of inspiration at any time when rolling a d20 to give themselves advantage. Instead, I chose to change it in the form of 3 new resources, each linked to the 3 mental abilities: intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. These new resources are memory, intuition, and contact. Each character has a pool of points for each, and each pool can only have 3 points at one time. At various times throughout the adventure, I will give the players a point in one of these categories, or I may simply give them inspiration, in which case they get to add it to whichever one they wish. These resources can be used in one of two ways. The first is to automatically remember something, intuit something, or have a contact that could be useful in a situation. The second is to gain advantage on a roll related in some way to the resources expended. Each of the players were given the opportunity to roll to determine how many they have starting of these different resources. So each of them has a small amount to be able to use in the upcoming arc. Finally, I think we're done here with bookkeeping. The guys and I recorded a small bit of story that I'd like to kind of insert in here. Call it a teaser for Arc 2, which will start in Episode 11, which will be released this Sunday. This teaser reminds them that they each have a past. Some in small ways, others in much larger. I hope you enjoy. Isn't this some good quality music? This is Nature-Claimed Ruins, Hallowed Grounds by Marc Cholette from BattleBards.com. That's where we get all our background music and sound effects for the show. What is BattleBards? BattleBards is the most premium audio library ever created for the tabletop gaming experience, along with tools built specifically to use the audio seamlessly in-game. Tailor-made background music inspired by fantasy races and locations, voiceover scripts written to bring life to everyday NPC interactions, and a colossal array of bone-crushing, spell-blasting sound effects. This is BattleBards. If you're looking to get the best value out of BattleBards.com, I would recommend giving BattleBards Prime subscription a try. With this monthly subscription, you can enjoy streaming access to all BattleBards content, access to all BattleBards tools, including their soundboard and mixer, the ability to upload and mix your own private audio library, and 20% off all purchases of sounds you wish to permanently add to your collection. I think this is enough for me. Go check it out for yourself and see what they have to offer. Now, let's get back to Dice Heist. We're going to move on to you guys kind of talking about the level ups, because last time you guys were level 3 and I gave you 2 additional levels. So you guys are now level 5 when we hop back into the story here. So can we start with Dirk again? What does that look like for your character?
All right, let me see. Got to remember what exactly he gets. So I picked up level 4. I picked up the Magic Initiate feat. So that gave me the cantrips Message and Shocking Grasp. And the first level spell that I can get a free cast once per day is Featherfall. So he also has this spell learned, and he can, according to the DM, I can use other first level slots to cast that. And then 5th level, I got Uncanny Dodge as a rogue, and so I'm going to be able to tank a lot more hits because I can use a reaction to take half damage from an attack when it hits me.
Nice.
I think that's all the important stuff for features and traits. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, cool. All right, then let's go over to Adam.
Man, I think my level ups are just huge for Adam. And here's why. So I use Rogue Wizard. I put my next 2 levels into Rogue. So he's a 3rd level Rogue now, 2nd level Wizard.
Mhm.
And it's huge for him because I ended up taking the Inquisitive subclass for Rogue. So he gets Ear for Deceit, which means anytime he makes a Wisdom Insight check to determine whether a creature is lying, he gets to treat the roll of a 7 or lower on the d20 as an 8.
Nice. Okay.
Which is, I think that'd be good for
that's
for
huge.
role-playing encounters. Yeah, it's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
2 more 3rd level abilities that he gets. Eye for Detail. I can use my bonus action to make like a Wisdom Perception check, spot a hidden creature or object, or I can use that bonus action to make an Intelligence Investigation check to uncover or decipher clues. I know you and I, we've talked about how we're going to change that a little bit so that it's not just purely based off the roll. Now the next ability I get, Insightful Fighting, I gain the ability to decipher an opponent's tactics and like try to counter them. So I can use my bonus action to make a Wisdom Insight check against a creature that I can see that isn't incapacitated. That would be contested by the target's Charisma, Deception check. If I succeed, I can actually use my Sneak attack against that target, even if I don't meet the normal prerequisites, such as like having advantage on that attack roll. And that lasts for like an entire minute or until I use that ability on a different target. And I can just use it fucking all the time, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. You just got to make that one skill check and you're dead set on it. So that's sweet. Okay, cool. Was that all that so you decided to go with more towards the rogue for now?
Yeah.
Do you plan on dipping back into wizard ever, or are you just taking these 2 levels and that's it?
No, so basically the highest I ever intend on taking the rogue is 5th level, just so I can get the uncanny dodge. After that, I'm everything is going into wizard. I gotta get better spell slots, more spells.
Yeah.
They have a huge selection, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's still nice, though, that now you still have the improved cantrips, even though you're only a 2nd level wizard.
Yes.
But because your overall level is 5,
right?
Those improved cantrips are still a thing for you.
I know,
so
it's such a...
that'll be,
it's a good deal.
It's also like another benefit of Jesus. Wow.
Multiclassing?
No, of Dirk's, because even though he's only a 3rd caster, he still gets the cantrip bonuses. Even though he's that. Yeah, so.
Yep.
But yeah, so, that's awesome. Let's go ahead and talk to Bertram and see what he gets as his bonuses from 4th and 5th level.
Well, 4th level, he honed his charisma skills. So we're maxed out in charisma. 5th level allows me to refresh my bardic inspirations on a short or long rest.
Sweet.
Which is a little lackluster, but I think it'll be handy. It'll let me use my Psychic Blades feature more often.
Yeah. That'd be nice to see you use that. I think you only used it once in last arc at all.
Yeah, because I only stabbed something once. Or not just once, but pretty much, I think.
I think that
like, you can count
that might actually be correct. So, but yeah, that's pretty cool. And you also bumped up to a D8 for your inspiration, correct?
Correct, so that is very nice.
Yeah.
And that Psychic Blades ability, while it's called Psychic Blades, the description just says when you make a weapon attack. So I'm hoping it's more like a Psychic Pistol ability.
We'll see.
But anyhow...
yeah, we can probably make that work. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I think... I mean, it's a little...
I mean, as long as it's not like range smite, I'm fine with that, so...
Yeah. No, it's not. And it's not nearly as bad as sneak attack from the other two.
No, it's not. That's why I don't mind at all. So.
I would, and I got a couple spells. I have 3rd level spells now, which is nice. And of those, keeping in the kind of social encounter force majeure of Bertram, I took Fast Friends.
Okay.
3rd level. And Enemies Abound.
Okay.
Which would be a lot of fun in
Yeah.
combat.
I'm super excited to see how you use your spells in both social interactions and in combat, because you got your 5th level now, so you have like slots to spend now. You know?
Some.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you
guess.
have almost twice as many slots as you did back in, third level.
True.
So
From our last session,
so
for sure.
I think we'll see more flying.
For sure.
All right. So that's it for your level ups. The last question I kind of want to ask you guys is, how did the physical look of your characters change? And also, did any sort of like mindset change now that you guys have kind of entered this role of investigators for the city? Dirk?
Well, Dirk, after eventually getting his new digs with this special armor that he got, because it is hidden armor, he now basically just looks like he's not really wearing armor, but he's like wearing just like standard dark clothing that are maybe a little bit gothic in nature. But he also has his cloak that is also just dark and brooding. But so yeah, he looks somewhat casual, and he could blend in with the crowd without wearing obvious armor. He also underwent a little bit of a mishap when interacting with some of his herbalism stuff, and so his voice may sound a little bit different from last time. We'll see how that goes. As far as his mindset, he's very much more so a team player now than he used to be, because he, after seeing Bertram and Adam leaping off of the airship to go fight some pirates, he realized, like, all right, these guys have some balls. I don't need to baby them anymore, and we can all be badasses together. So now he has a more strategic mindset with them, and just is kind of leaning away from his natural lone wolf type personality, and now more into a team player.
Nice. So did Dirk think that they were both wusses after that first combat?
Yeah, the first combat, he thought they were both little sissies running away from everything, and then they completely blew his mind when they both just jumped off the airship down towards pirates.
Yeah. That's how that be doing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's super exciting. I'm kind of excited to see how all of you change as this goes on. But yeah. So Adam, how did your character, or how did Adam change from this new world almost?
I would say Adam is pretty excited to be living here in Igelphia, because he'd read all of the books in the library back at what is it called? Vago, thank you. I don't know why I always forget that. He read all the books back at Vago, at that library. So now he's just excited to delve into more knowledge. Seeing all of the newer technology that's being put to use in this city is just giving him such a boner, man. I mean, he wants to study everything. The last 2 months, he's just been delving into alchemy, trying to learn how to make these capsules, how they work. As far as his actual personality, other than maybe being a little happier because he's not living with his parents anymore, and he's kind of out on his own, able to do what he wants, what he really wants, he probably definitely seems like a happier person than what Dirk and Bertram are probably used to. Other than that, not a whole lot of differences. I mean, he's got his armor underneath his pea coat. It's hidden just like Dirk's is. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think, that sounds like it's going to be great for Adam. All right, so Bertram, what do we got for you?
Bertram, his highs have been higher and his lows have been lower. And before the events of kind of like the last arc, he'd never actually killed anyone. He'd always faked or mimed it as part of his kind of street fighting LARPing group, I guess. But the fight with Petrid and encountering an assassin on the Silver Sail and impersonating an assassin killer, basically, I've kind of left him with. Sometimes he's beginning to, now that the shine of Igelphia is wearing off, because it's been here 2 months and all the newness has kind of suppressed and captured his attention away from his past events. Some of those things are kind of catching back up to him. And on the flip side of that coin is all the new wonderment and just craziness that he finds himself in this super magical, technological city of cities. So personality-wise, he's very much the same Bertram, but there's some of the, just maybe less smiles, and more looks over his shoulder. In addition to that, I would say his overall appearance has changed somewhat. Like the others, his armor can be worn hidden, and he does so, especially trying to fit in with the current fashion of the city and diving into that as much as he can. I imagine he has kind of black polished boots and like navy trousers, and maybe a kind of white buttoned collared shirt with a vest over it and a kind of longish coat, maybe 3/4 length coat, that he might wear. But yeah, I mean, other than that, he has still way more money than he had escaping these mysterious debtors of his. But he's, from that boon that he's gotten from each paycheck, they've gone. That's kind of where we find him.
Awesome.
Days. Just trying to keep the things that are familiar to him, and pubs and bars and sharing secrets and trading stories. But there's a little bit of more of an edge sharpness to it.
Nice. So yeah, this is where you guys are. This is who you are now, and yeah, I think the last thing I want to do is kind of pull a little bit of interaction from each of you. So first off, Dirk, you mentioned that you wanted to take some time, or actually it altered your voice doing these magical creations of yours.
Yeah, not so much magical as more like herbal.
Oh, that's right.
Like
yep.
With herbalism kit.
Yep.
But yeah, so two things that I proposed being able to kind of create as to kind of differ from the whole capsules that is prominent in the city, is kind of making these little kind of like miniature potions, these little like shot glasses pretty much. I call them boosters, where the first one is an immune system booster. So basically for an hour after consuming it, it'll give you advantage on the next saving throw against poison or disease. Or if you've already failed a saving throw against a poison or disease, you can drink it as a bonus action and then roll a new saving throw to resist it. And then the other tonic that I made, or booster, whatever, is alertness. And again, for about an hour, when consumed, this tonic gives you advantage on perception checks and initiative rolls for the duration, and you get a +2 to your passive perception for the duration. So those are two kind of cool little experiments that he's been working with, and I assume you'll have me roll to see how many of those he was able to create.
Yeah, so what stat is associated with the herbalism skill, would you say? I kind of am leaning towards intelligence, personally, but if you have another thought, we can possibly go off of that.
Yeah, I think it would be more intelligence than wisdom.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so why don't you give me a roll for that? You can include your intelligence and your proficiency bonus as well.
Okay.
And the DC for this, yeah, you know what? Just go ahead and roll, and I'll let you know what you get.
Okay, so I rolled a 12.
Okay.
And my intelligence modifier is 4, and my proficiency bonus is 3, so that's +7, so that's 19.
Nice. So you actually did pretty well. We'll say that you were able to get together 5 of your immune system boosters.
Okay.
And then what was the other one called? I'm sorry.
Alertness.
Alertness.
Booster?
Okay,
Yeah.
so the alertness booster, you're able to get 2 of those.
Okay.
In addition to the 5 of the others. So.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty.
Okay, and then other things that Dirk kind of went with in his downtime during the 2 months. One of them was kind of studying a bit to get those new cantrips and that Featherfall spell from the Magic Initiate feat. So he kind of went with Adam and did a little bit of studying in his downtime, and Adam helped him, find things that would be useful to him. And then along with that, he discovered a new thing with Zed, actually, where Zed has this one kind of like a silver feather that he has kind of like in his tail that Dirk didn't really pay too much attention to before, but he realized that when this feather is plucked, it grows back the next day, and he can use it once per day to cast Featherfall as kind of like a free thing without using his own magical abilities. And then also, let's see, he spent a lot of time exploring the city and really getting to know the ins and outs of the whole place. That way he can navigate, with everyone and lead Bertram and Adam to where they need to go. So between his urchin background with the city secrets and the navigation feature that you just recently got, that should, allow us to traverse the city quite quickly.
Yeah. No, I think you'll definitely be able to get exactly where you need to be as quickly as you can when you need to. So that'll be nice and beneficial. So, alrighty. So that was Dirk. What about Adam? Was there anything you decided to do that we haven't mentioned so far in your downtime?
I think I mentioned it briefly. Adam's been delving into alchemy big time.
Oh, yeah.
Over the last couple months.
Okay.
Reasons that this is important is because, at least according to combined definitions from the PHP and Xanathar's guide, there's some cool shit you can do with an alchemist like kit, like their supplies.
Yep.
One of those being investigation. I can literally inspect an area for like clues. It would this kit would grant me insight into chemicals or other substances that might have been used in that area. I think this is especially going to be important given that we have firearms and capsules in this realm. So maybe, for example, if we find a dead body, I might check his fingers or her fingers for like gunpowder residue or signs of other alchemical ingredients being used. So, for example, like if someone, I don't know, threw Greek fire onto something, maybe I'd be able to use that to try to glean that information. So he's really been delving into the alchemical side of things. And honestly, he's been spending most of his time in whatever local library for this sector of the city would be. I don't know if there's maybe multiple or if there's just one big-ass library for the whole city. But either way, nearest library, he's there almost every single day just reading anything.
Yeah.
He actually originally learned Draconic so he could continue reading books at the library in
Vago.
Vago, thank you. In Vago. So yeah, he learned Draconic because he started running into books that were written in Draconic. He's like, I want to know what's in these. Like, obviously, if it's in this library, that has some sort of benefit. So we learned Draconic, finished all the books in Vago, and now he's just been spending all of his fucking time doing the same thing in Igelphia, just gaining knowledge, trying to, seek knowledge anywhere he can, anywhere.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so these are your newly acquired skills. So you weren't able to. I'm going to give you one more point in memory.
Ooh.
For your time instead of you getting like any potions like we did for Dirk. So just because you're spending this extra time kind of learning that information and stuff.
Dope.
So Bertram, what have you been doing for fun lately?
He's been making a name for himself, swapping stories, in bars and things. Everyone likes to tell Bertram, likes to surprise Bertram with information that he's never heard before. So he just showers on the praise and how amazing and smart you are, yada yada yada. So he kind of has been assimilating himself into Igelphia. He has been practicing shooting with the pistol. He does now have 2 pistols, one absconded from the Silver Sail, and both kind of holstered under each arm.
I was kind of feeling bad not giving you your dagger back, but now that I remember that you stole a pistol from them, I don't feel bad at all.
Well, I mean, yeah, what can I say?
You lost a dagger, got a pistol, so.
It's a pretty good trade. I still have a sharp, pointy middle rapier, so. But yeah, so he's been practicing his shooting and gained proficiency there. Also, he's been making friends. Well, what he considers to be friends with the kind of automated and automatic machinery, I guess, people maybe of the city, as he has learned auto.
Awesome, yeah.
And so he's been. The stories are different, but they're still stories.
They are. Much more bland, but yeah.
Very facts.
All right, so
but Bertram can punches him up.
So each of you also had an interesting interaction that happened in your time. So we're going to go back to Dirk. So Dirk, one evening when you come back late at night from a shift, you find a note stuck to your door.
Mm.
And when you look at this note, it just says on it, "This isn't over. Gandon." So take that as you will, but it's definitely something that's been made aware to you.
Okay. Yeah, that
Adam.
would definitely be something that he would tell both Adam and Bertram.
Yeah. So, Adam, shortly after you come into the city and actually begin unpacking your things, you find that furry friend of yours that you had initially taken onto the silver sail. Turns out they were still with you. They were just hiding in your luggage. Eating through all of that food.
I'm not gonna lie. I totally
Perfect.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So you still have your furry friend with you. Bertram, you have a much more interesting interaction, and one that is very surprising to you. So as you mentioned, your, fake fighting that you do, or, almost showboaty in its way of being. You do actually find a group of people here that do participate in that. And I think that you would be more than willing to join in on this sort of interaction, because it just kind of builds on the things that you were already trying to do.
Right.
Well, one night after a long day of this, and you would just want a match, so to speak, you see someone out of the corner of your eye. And it makes you kind of do a double take when you first see them, because it's your father's face. And you're inside kind of this inn, almost, where there's drinks served, and people are kind of watching the entertainment in the center of the room, the fights. And he kind of motions with his head towards the back door.
Bertram's just kind of like deer in the headlights, just kind of blink for a second, and just kind of shakily finish his drink and head in the nodded direction.
Yeah, and as you're kind of like shaking your head off and finishing your drink, he's already started moving towards there. You exit the inn, and he's waiting outside the door for you. And would you like to describe what your dad looks like?
Well, he has black hair, much like his son, but it's kind of grayed and whitened at the temples. He would have a beard.
And one thing that I will add is that his clothes are much higher class than you would have expected.
In that case, he's almost unrecognizable except for his face to Bertram. And yeah, I mean, he would just he's older by this time, maybe in his, I don't know, 50, 60. And so he is like kind of weathered and somewhat wrinkled face, but kind of broad-chested and stockier than Bertram.
Okay. So, in this kind of like haze of seeing him again, can you make a perception check, please?
Yeah, I very much want to see if I've just had too much to drink here. 10.
10. So you see, as he fixes his sleeve, you could have sworn somewhere on his wrist, something blue was on his skin. And he says to you, "Well, son, how's it been since I've been gone?"
Who are you, actually? Because you're wearing the face of a dead man.
No, I'm not. You really think I'm dead, son? Have I taught you nothing?
Well, you never taught me about dead bodies per se, but
I taught you how to get out of things when you needed to. That was one of the things you could do, is die and move, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you... So, I'm to believe instead my father didn't die, but instead left me...
Oh, you were grown. You were grown.
Yes, of course. And had inherited then all of your problems. Okay, let's say I do believe you, that you are my father. Why? Just why? What?
Why else would I come and see you?
I truly don't know.
Well, of course, it's because I need something from you.
Uh-huh.
I understand you work for the Sector Defense Force.
I might.
I know you do.
So, given that, what brings you back from the dead, then, Father?
Work. I sit on the council here in Igelphia.
How would I have not found out about this? Why live in Vago on the edge of destitution if you're one of the most powerful men in the city of Igelphia?
My station here is fairly new. But
does this sound to Bertram? Does this person sound like his father, or
Yeah.
are his mannerisms the same? Is his pattern of speech all line up with his memories?
Yep, it is.
And what exactly is your business then?
My business is that my son is working for the Sector Defense Force. There's so much better you could do with yourself.
If only I had a parent that was super influential and ran an eighth of the city.
You do. So, he hands you a card. Come to me if you ever want to do better. And then he walks away.
Bertram just kind of just stands there, reading this card, and just is dumbfounded.
Yeah, it has an address to the office of the chairman of Eastern Gate.
I'm gonna go drink a lot more.
Okay, that sounds fair. In addition to your other exploits, I'd like to give you also another contacts point as well to your boon. Okay, so yeah, this is I think we're gonna leave it here today. and we'll pick back up
That hurts.
after this time skip.
Okay.
Yep.
How far in the 2 months would you say that
We'll say about midpoint is when that happened.
after? Okay.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that Bertram is not as super interested to go check that out. So
Is that roughly the time frame that all of these events happen?
yours happened very shortly after. And, I mean, obviously Adam figured out that his mouse was still there as he unpacked, so.
Right. Okay.
Actually, you know what? In Bertram's case, we'll say that this happened the night before we pick back up.
Okay.
So, because that'll be more current, and you can make decisions based off of that immediately if you want. So,
Cool. Sounds great.
okay. All right. Yeah, let's call it here. Thanks for listening, everyone. We will be back soon, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you all for listening to this episode of Dice Heist. Our next episode will be released on Sunday, May 16th at noon. I want to thank my 3 players, co-hosts, and partners, Aaron, Bronson, and Nick, for their help bringing this dream together. This podcast has meant a lot to me. I pour a lot of my time and effort into creating these episodes, and seeing that people are listening really kind of gives me a sense of accomplishment, and I'm sure that the other guys feel the same way. But I want you all to know, as a listener, you are deeply appreciated, and there is no way I can ever possibly thank you all enough for just listening to us play this game. I want to give a special thanks to Nick for letting us use his song Something for Now for our intro and outro. And I'd like to thank battlebards.com for their help improving our show with their immense library of music. I'd like to thank my wife, Erica, for her support and her wonderful work on our show notes. In addition, I'd also like to thank her for helping me with some of the flavor text in the upcoming episodes, as she's been helping me a lot trying to figure out how to use the right words to give you guys a better picture of what's happening, as it's something I think was lacking in the first arc. So from now on, she's going to be helping me try to create a better visual narrative for you, the listeners. Lastly, I'm going to mention that we are always looking for fun new gadgets that you guys have, that you've cooked up in your brains, or that you've seen throughout the internet, or whatever. Anything is acceptable. Just send it to us on social media, either at Twitter or on Facebook, and who knows, your suggestion might get added to the show. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter at Dice_Heist, and on Facebook at Dice Heist Podcast. Feel free to reach out to us there, or send us an email at diceheistpodcast@gmail.com. Lastly, I'd like to mention our giveaway that kind of flopped in the beginning, but that's okay. I think we jumped the gun on it, and that's alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue running this giveaway all the way through till sometime in June, possibly even into July. A little bit before the cutoff date, we will tell you within the episodes what the deadline is. From there, we will be drawing twice as many people from this list and giving away these items shown. I have multiple variations of these items, different colors, and I would love to be able to give them out to you guys. But what we need is for you guys to share and follow and like our social media posts, so that we're able to get the word out to other people. If you enjoy listening to the show, there's got to be someone you know who would too. And if there's someone you know who would like to listen to the show, why not share it with them? Send it out to your friends. What's the worst that's going to happen? No one clicks on it. We appreciate it because it shows that you're willing to do that little bit of effort to help us grow. And the more we grow, the more things we can do with this show. Thank you guys so much again for listening to Dice Heist. Again, it means the world to me, and we can't wait to share the next episode of Dice Heist with you.